What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 29 of the Screen Team podcast. My name is Gus.
And I am Alex, and Sal is not joining us today.
Yeah, because he's doing something.
He's slipping.
Yeah, he didn't watch the movie and he had something to do, so
Yeah.
so whatever.
I think it's called work or something like that. I don't
He has
know.
work? Oh, okay.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, so today we're actually recording the podcast live. So if you notice anything different on the YouTube video or on the Spotify channel, just know that it's just because of that. So occasionally I may like talk to chat or something like that. But I just wanted to try something different today. I figured why not, you know? So here we are. And today we are going to be talking about Nobody. It is a movie starring Bob Odenkirk, who is famous for his role as Saul. What is his name? Goodman?
Saul Goodman, yeah. Pretty sure.
In Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which I haven't seen yet, but apparently is sometimes better than Breaking Bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I haven't heard that, but
Yeah.
I've seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about that movie. Funnily enough, the movie is written by one of the writers that was on John Wick, which is not very surprising.
Really?
Yes. It is not surprising
A lot of
whatsoever.
similarities there. Okay.
I mean, if you guys haven't seen the trailer for this movie, quick little breakdown. It's just this guy, like, he seems like a normal guy that works like a 9 to 5, doesn't seem to really enjoy his life. Every single day he has like a routine, right? But something happens and he just kind of goes like on a rampage, very similar to John Wick.
Yeah.
In this case, his daughter's bracelet
Gets stolen.
gets
yeah.
stolen, he thought. And
Yeah, he gets his house broken into, and then the burglars or robbers, whatever, take his daughter's bracelet. And he was fine before that until he finds out that they took her bracelet.
yeah.
He flipped out and decided to go hunt him down.
And yeah, and he's like going around like trying to figure out what's going on with these people. And yeah, he just kind of ends up getting into it with the Russian mob or
Yeah.
mafia, and
Somewhere along there. Yeah, so he finds the original burglars, and he realizes that they're just a young couple trying to feed their baby.
yeah, the
So
baby's sick.
He feels bad. And he just kind of leaves them, gets on a bus, goes home. But the whole time he's like itching to get violent. Like the whole movie starts with his like Monday through Friday routine of just the same thing over and over again. He's just like living like a normal life, and you can tell he's going crazy. So he wants some violence, he wants some action. Doesn't find it there, but on the way home he's on the bus and he finds this like Russian dudes. There's like 4 or 5 of them that like crash right next to the bus that he's on, that end up hopping on the bus and just causing a lot of issues. So he says,
Yeah, so
Hell
he,
yeah.
he just flips the switch and he's like,
Yeah,
all right,
this is it."
bus driver, get off the bus.
yeah,
Damsel in distress, I'm going to protect you.
yeah.
And he kicks their
Beats the
ass.
shit out of him.
And the thing that I kind of like appreciated, we saw the movie together, and this is one of the things we brought up, is you could tell he's rusty, you know?
Yeah.
Like in John Wick, when things start popping off, John Wick is just
He's
like,
just a badass. Yeah,
he's just a badass right off the bat. But in this movie, like he's getting fucked up too.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah,
getting
yeah.
his ass beat
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And I appreciate that because he's older too,
Yeah.
and like
he's still a badass, but like when
Yeah.
he starts off, for sure he's getting his ass kicked more than he's kicking ass. But
Yeah.
as the fight progresses, then he starts getting into it. Then he's beating the shit out of everyone.
yeah.
But it's really violent.
Yeah, it's extremely violent,
It's
and
so good.
like creatively violent
Mm.
too. So like the way that like they kind of handle some of these fights and everything, I think it ends up actually kind of giving the movie more depth, I guess. Because it could just be this guy that's just beating people up like any other movie, but like they really tried to make it like different in that sense, where like the action scenes were very creative, much like John Wick. And
Key moments in that bus scene is that stand out is when he breaks one of the guy's arms against one of the poles on the bus.
Mhm.
That was nasty. And then when he gets stabbed on the side and he holds onto that knife for like a good minute, then he finally pulls it out of his body and starts using it against everybody else.
yeah,
It's just
and
like-
then one of the guys, he ends up kicking like or like hitting in the throat
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
the dude's like choking out and like
This is at the very end of the fight.
yeah, and he's like literally about to die, and so he gets a straw from like a cup that was just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
laying in the bus,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
splits it open and just puts
Gets
the
a
straw in
knife,
there
yeah.
so that he could get
Puts
the
a hole in his
oxygen in there for him.
He
So
gives him a trach.
yeah, so he doesn't kill any of these people, at least not at this point, and he just leaves.
But he
just
fucks
goes.
him up.
Yeah, he fucks him up and he just leaves. He just walks away and goes home to his wife and kids.
Yeah.
And
Gets
it's
home.
it's just crazy. Like I can't, like the wife, like when he gets back, she doesn't even react that much. So you know that like this isn't something that like
It's super unusual.
unusual.
Yeah.
Like she has some idea that he's kind of like this.
Mhm.
So I guess like that just adds more to the mystery of this guy, and you don't know what it is yet. But as the movie like keeps unfolding, you start getting little hints like here and there.
Yeah, like his dad worked for the FBI. And
Yeah.
he took his dad's FBI his badge or whatever.
Yeah.
He tried to use it as his own. So you're like, okay, so he comes from a family that's FBI, that's trained.
Yeah. And then when he's like asking around, like trying to find the people that he thought stole his daughter's bracelet, he has like a tattoo on his wrist, and a like army vet saw it and freaked out and like hid from him. So like something with like the government or something he definitely was like a part of, right? The movie just keeps on going, and like then the person that he had to stick the straw into was the brother of like the leader, I guess.
I
of
thought it was
like
his son.
No, it was his brother.
Oh, was it his brother?
Yeah,
Did
it was supposed to be his brother.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't like his brother, but like
Let's talk about that scene first. When they introduce this guy, it's so random. Like they
wacky.
cut to this scene, where this guy's coming out of his car and goes
he
into
looks
a
like
club.
a badass. Like he looks like super angry and like
just walks
like
into the club, starts doing
everyone looks
coke.
intimidated by him.
Yeah.
And then he like picks up a microphone and gets on stage, and then he just starts
like,
singing and
It's so
dancing
weird.
really
like, he
weird.
just took like a couple hits of coke and like he's capping his coke and like he's on stage and like he starts singing. It's weird. It's not good. He's not singing very good. And he's just like and he's just like doing this like weird dance move.
Yeah,
where
it was
it's like
really
what
awkward.
the hell is going
And
on?
he's singing Russian, so we don't know what he's saying.
We don't really
but,
know what he's saying. Yeah,
but yeah, like
gets a
then
standing ovation from everyone. Like, yeah, you did so great. You went up there for 10 seconds. And
yeah,
singing.
and then so he goes back up, and I guess like the role that he plays, he's not the leader of like the mafia, but he handles all of their money. Like he takes, like everybody's like money is like secured by him. And
is that what it was? You see,
yeah.
I must have missed that. I didn't even care about some of the background stuff. I was just like in it. Like, okay, this is a fun movie. But,
yeah.
Okay.
So like one of the guys like approaches him, and he's like, after like all of us singing and dancing, I don't know if we can like trust you with all our money. So he gets pissed off and he breaks a glass and just like randomly kills some dude like
in front
like
of everyone.
violently.
Yeah,
He uses the glass and like starts stabbing him like crazy, uses the other side and like rips off his face. I'm like, what the hell is going on in here?
Yeah.
Like it's just so crazy. He's like, is that enough proof for you? And he's like, you know who that guy was?
Yeah.
Like, he was like another leader for a different gang.
It's like a shareholder or something.
Yeah,
like,
but they're like, well, I guess we get his cut now.
yeah. Celebration
what the
after that.
fuck?
Yeah, everyone's like shocked at first, and then they're like, let's celebrate because we get a cut of this guy's money. It was like,
yeah, and
so random.
It's just crazy. Like there's just a bunch of moments in this movie where it's just like, wow, they're really just they don't give a fuck. They're just doing whatever.
I feel like there was just an excuse to just make a really violent, action-packed movie.
Yeah,
Let's put a story behind it. Let's run with it. That's
yeah,
what this
like
was.
in a way, this movie, because it does have like a lot of comedic elements to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it kind of feels like it's a parody of John Wick.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's not like a bad movie or anything like that. Like it's still like really entertaining and still like really well choreographed and everything. Whereas like, you know, like Scary Movie is like a parody of like scary movies, right?
No.
But it's not really scary and like it's really poorly acted or something like that. But in this, like it's actually like I feel well done.
The action scenes were great, man.
Yeah.
The action scenes were so good. Every time there was violence on the screen, I was glued to the screen. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Yeah, it's like a parody for all those types of movies where you have this guy that's just like a normal dude, but it turns out to be a badass.
Yeah, he's like a nobody, but
yeah.
So as the movie keeps going, there's more action scenes. Like the mafia sends like people to his house
to avenge the brother, right?
To avenge the brother, because the brother ends up dying in the hospital. And they like get in there and everything, and
it just kept escalating.
Yeah,
man.
the violence just kept getting more and more like crazy.
The bus scene was pretty violent, but he was using knives, right? And he was just using fists. And then when you get to the house scene, when they break into his house, now it's like guns, and then he starts killing people.
Yeah.
Now people are dying, and people are all over the floor, just bloody and dead. It's just kept escalating. So that was cool.
And I don't know, like it's just so crazy. Like, so like they even like do like the scene like where in like John Wick, like where like before his house gets like destroyed, he like digs up like a bunch of like golden bars and shit like that, and like that currency that the John Wick people do. But in this it's just gold bars and like money and stuff like that. And he just takes that and he ends up buying the place that he works at, like, which is like this like metal smithing shop or whatever.
Yeah.
And
it's like a big warehouse.
Yeah, like it's just giant warehouse, and this is where the final like action scene ends up taking place.
Yeah.
So like he sets up traps, and then like his dad, former FBI agent, so he's still trained, but he's in a retirement home and old, and mind you, it's the guy from Back to the Future.
Oh yeah. it's
just
Doc.
Like,
from Back to the Future.
Yeah, and it's just so like random. Like he ends up helping him in the final fight, and like his friend, I think it was actually his brother, like his stepbrother or brother-in-law or something. Because like in the credits, like I looked to see like what his name was, because they never mentioned it. They had the same last name.
Oh,
so I don't like stepbrother or something like that.
Yeah, they only introduce him like while he's talking to him through the radio, and then at the end he comes out and he joins that last scene. So
yeah, and the last scene was just nonstop for like 10 to 15 minutes of just pure action and like craziness.
Yeah,
and like it was fun.
It was fun.
Just fun. Like
just like killing a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, and like this movie, like these types of movies, I don't expect like the most like grand plot or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I didn't really care too much, but even though like I didn't care that much, I still found it pretty interesting and it was still pretty engaging. Like, and they kind of like leave openings for a sequel, which would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind. But at the same time, it's just kind of like,
it's good there.
Yeah, like if they don't want to like continue it, I'm totally satisfied with like the way that the movie like actually went through. How stoned are we? We're
zero.
Well,
stoned.
I'm not. I don't know. Are you?
Zero stoned. Yeah. Do we look stoned? Why?
I don't know. Maybe just the way we're talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah. Thanks for the comment. But yeah, I'm completely.
Watch this movie
sober.
stoned. That's a good idea. Yes, that's.
Yeah, he watched it stoned. I didn't. But yeah. Anything else?
You know what? I also we should talk about is the fact that we went to the theaters to watch this movie, because we haven't gone to theaters since I haven't gone since not Inception, but what's that movie that came out? Tenet. I went for Tenet, but that was still quite a while back. And it wasn't as weird. I feel like this time was a lot weirder. I feel like they had more restrictions, like getting our popcorn and getting all of our food. They had like 3 different lines that we had to get into. One to get our popcorn, one to get our drinks, then like to get napkins. They pulled all the dispensers.
Yeah, they basically didn't have the customers touching anything.
Yeah.
So like the butter dispenser and everything was all like, they just gave you little containers, drinks. They don't let you touch the drink machine. So I mean, like I appreciate the precaution and everything, but it is weird. Like definitely going from like you don't even think about this stuff like when you used to go to the theaters, but now like you kind of have to like actually like, oh wait, this is a thing now. This is how it's gonna be for a while probably.
There's like 20 people there too. There wasn't a lot of people there.
Yeah, granted it was like there's not a lot of big movies out right now, so who knows, like once like
Mortal Kombat comes out next
Mortal
week.
Kombat or even Black Widow, because Black Widow is gonna be a bigger release.
That's true. When
So-
when is that one coming out?
July.
That's gonna be a big one. That's
Yeah.
probably gonna be the first big one, huh?
Yeah, every Marvel movie just
Yeah.
tends to do well. So
It was nice though. You know, I realized how much I like movie theaters once you're there sitting down
watching
a movie on the big screen when it's loud. Like,
Yeah.
we should have watched Godzilla on the big screen,
Yeah,
man.
I kind of wish that I would have been able to see that in IMAX. That would
Yeah,
have been
that
a
would've been
really
s-
good
that
movie to
would've been
see.
sick.
Just the visuals and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to be back in theaters. And
Every movie is better in theaters.
honestly,
every movie is
I
better in
I
theaters.
love the experience. I know like there's some people that are like, well, good riddance. Like I would rather
No.
pay like $20 to see the movie the day that it comes out in the comfort of my
Yeah.
home. But like the sound, the picture quality, all that stuff, like just like the
So much better.
popcorn, like
Yeah,
everything
yeah, yeah.
about like just
Comfort-
being there.
Comfort level.
It's
like-
just like I love it. Like
No.
I'm so glad that they're back open and everything, and it's great.
Are they
um,
gonna disappear though?
I mean,
Are-
a lot of theaters are already closing. Like they're not reopening. So it's like a very historic one in LA is not opening back up,
Oh man.
and which sucks. But I mean, if it's really as popular as people say, maybe like celebrities and stuff like that will buy it and reopen it or something, because like it seems to be like a really big deal, like a historical landmark type of thing. Like what's his name? Quentin Tarantino. That's
Oh.
like his favorite movie theater in LA.
Oh really? Oh.
And we'll see. Maybe they end up doing something where they like
Mhm.
find a way to keep it open. But yeah, I mean, as far as the movie goes, I highly recommend it. Like just as far as like seeing like all the action scenes, like
I would recommend it as well.
it-
That's
it's
a good point.
It's
yeah.
a fun movie to watch. Even if you don't watch it in theaters, like just to watch it, I think it's like one that I think I would really recommend. Because it's just fun. It's gory,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
Maybe not a theater movie,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely it's worth watching.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and rank or
Rate it.
rate it.
Yeah.
Rank. I don't know why I said rank. Rate the movie. Let's see. This was a fun movie. I would kind of almost put it on the same level as Godzilla vs.
That's
Kong.
exactly what I was thinking.
So I would definitely probably give it like a 7.5. I'm leaning a little bit more towards 7.5.
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
I'm giving it a 7, which is the same thing I give Godzilla versus Kong.
Mm.
But here's the thing, man. I feel like because I watched it in theaters, the score might be a little higher. I don't know for sure
Yeah.
if I would have enjoyed it as much at home than in theaters. And I get
Maybe.
the feeling that I would have given Godzilla versus Kong a higher rating if we saw it in theaters in IMAX.
Yeah.
But it is what
think-
it is.
I
so.
think the spectacle of Godzilla vs. Kong in theater would have definitely added to it, because I just watched it on like my computer screen. I think like the first half, and then the second half I watched it on like my TV, which is 4K and everything. So like that second half, which was like the bigger fight,
Yeah.
was cool. Like, but I could imagine like just actually seeing it in IMAX
Wow.
would have been dope. But yeah. So that's gonna do it as far as our discussion on the movie. Next week we are going to do the series finale in episode 5 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I
Mortal
think
Kombat.
we're also gonna try to do Mortal Kombat if we get the time.
100%.
Because the movie does come out on Friday, so technically we could probably see it Thursday if they do midnight
Yeah.
type showings. But I don't know how
I
it's
thought
gonna
it was
work.
gonna be the 26th for. Oh, that is Friday, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For HBO as well, right?
For
They're
HBO
both
as well.
Coming out at the same time.
So even if we can't see it in theaters, we can watch it on HBO Max. But I would prefer to see it in theaters personally.
this is a weird one. Mortal Kombat. Like I told you this in theaters when we were watching the trailers. I have high hopes for this movie, but I feel guilty for having high hopes for this movie because it's a freaking video game movie.
Yeah.
They've never been good.
I think the
never been
best like
good.
video game movie we've gotten so far is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
And that
was a good
was
one.
just came out like
Yeah,
right
yeah,
before.
that
I
was
think
pretty
that was
good.
like probably like one of the last movies I saw
Yeah.
in theaters
But it's
actually.
still kids movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I struggle.
But this
I
is gonna be
struggle with
rated
kids
R
movies.
and
yeah,
very gory, hopefully.
yeah.
Like the first trailer, I think it's kind of cheesy in some aspects, but also the fight scenes and stuff like that did look really cool. So like I'm just
That's all
I
we-
just hope like the fights are cool
just gives
and
cool
like the
fights, yeah.
characters aren't like really annoying.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then we're chilling from that point. Because at the end of the day, Mortal Kombat is just
Fighting.
fights.
It's fighting.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Let's
yeah,
keep it there.
exactly. So yeah. As far as everything else, I don't think there's anything else we really have to talk about.
Just Winter Soldier.
Yeah. I've already seen episode 5. I won't say much.
Oh, don't say anything. Yeah.
Goddamn.
No, I like to watch them back to back. I just wait.
I'm loving this show, man.
2 more after that, right? After this week, there's 2 more, and then that's it.
No, the next episode's the final episode.
Oh, this is already episode 6. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, and then I think like maybe a couple weeks after Loki will come out, so we'll have that to watch as well. And that also looks very weird and interesting, so
yeah.
But that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Screen Team Podcast. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll also be on Spotify and all that other crap too if you guys want to listen to it there. Love you guys. See you guys in the next one.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.